Okay, guys, this is going to be my review of The Karate Kid. The Karate Kid, was actually a really good film. I think it's very much an product of the 80s. And I kind of joke around that, like, the 80s is a genre of itself with, like, the 80s music and the different 80s messages and the cars and the high schools and schools but I mean, it's a great classic. I think the best aspects aren't even like the karate stuff itself. I think it's just the relationship between Daniel and the girl he likes. But I think like I could have predicted everything that happens in this film ahead of time. It played very much by the books. And the thing is, for me, it's like it feels so cliche. This kind of film where it's like the underdog beats the overdog, and you get to the girl and all this stuff. But at the same time, this came out in 1984, so in some ways you could assume that maybe this wrote this cliche. It created the cliche of, oh, this character, the overdog beats or the underdog beats the overdog, and this happens, and then there got the mentor character, and you got this character and that character. But I think it's a great version of that. It's the great version of the classic story of the underdog beating the overdog with the mentor, and then the evil whatever or other person, the other team, and the girl. He loves the girl, and this and this and that. So it's very much by the books, but it plays that perfectly. It plays all that stuff perfectly. I think again with the great 80s music, and the karate stuff was pretty cool. I think you learn how like the simple acts of cleaning the car and painting, and it's like wax on, wax off, and doing like the crane kick, yeah, and then he ultimately takes him out, gets injured. So while I wouldn't say this film is ever really that surprising, it is a classic of the 80s. And I think delivers on that. It delivers on that Karate Kid message, and you do see him train. I think the thing is like you don't see him train that hard, but you understand. Like I love the message of like it's not just about punching and kicking. There is that certain real life quality of just like going that. But the problem is when he actually fought, he didn't really do any of like the wax on and the wax offs or the ups, the downs. He didn't really do that, which is weird because like what's the point of showing us all that? I think that was like a very big misstep, because like I was paying attention to when he fought the different people. Besides him doing the crane kicking at the end, and he did a little bit of this when he had the final fight with Johnny, but through everything else, it kind of felt like he was just like dodging and then punching and dodging and punching and kicking but not what we saw. He never really did the wax on and the wax off stuff until the final fight. That was just a little nugget. But this film is wildly entertaining, and it is a great, again, classic of the genre, classic. What would I consider this? A comedy, a heartfelt moment, just a great 80s. Again, like it's the 80s. I think it fits the 80s genre. That's the funny thing about the 80s. It's like a lot of these 80s films, you don't even know what the genre is. Like Back to the Future, it's like, well, that's comedy, but then this happened. So I think 80s is very much like a genre where films come out that like, what genre does this even fit in? But it's a really great film and classic of the genre of the 80s genre. Great 80s classic. Stay tuned for our videos coming at you.